The first one is Drew Gulak. So, we talked about this a few weeks ago after Ronda Rousey publicly claimed that Drew Gulak flipped the drawstring of her jogging trousers. Gulak's contract with WWE was, quote-unquote, he wasn't fired, he was not renewed, which is essentially him being let go. For some, the punishment may have seemed to not fit the crime, assuming that Ronda Rousey's version of events was the correct one. For other people, it was. However, a number of anonymous complaints then surfaced after Drew Gulak was released, or not renewed, almost as soon as he was gone, claiming that he was a bully and that the Ronda Rousey situation was basically the final straw after WWE investigated Gulak further. So according to talents who talked to Fightful, Gulak would intentionally target legitimate injuries of wrestlers he worked with and once purposely dislocated a finger of a talent who had recently injured that appendage. In another claim, the odd, that's a quote, according to one NXT wrestler, Gulak was said to have been reprimanded by Shawn Michaels after intentionally spiking an opponent during a match. So essentially, WWE sort of investigated Gulak.
What is spiking? What's that mean?
Dropping him on the head, I think.
Okay, all right.
So essentially, WWE started looking into Gulak apparently after the Ronda Rousey claim she made publicly and found out all these complaints about him and basically said, this guy who's making main roster money but is only still in NXT is just not worth the hassle. Mm-hmm. So when you hear all that, what do you make of it all?
Well, if he intentionally hurt guys, and I had never heard that before, and I guess I could make do with it with saying that if he'd have tried this on the main roster or against more experienced talent, he may get the crap beat out of him. Because I know if I went in the ring with somebody and they legitimately tried to hurt me, well, we got a problem. We got a big problem, and I'm either going to try to straighten it out then in the ring or back when we get back in the dressing room. I'm going to see what's the deal. So now, if he'd have done it with some guys, they'd have slapped him right then and there. So, and that's why I tend not to believe that so much. And he may have, I think, he may got a bad rap on that, and it could be true. I don't know. He never tried it with me. So, and I've never met the guy. I've seen him, and I've heard about him. And I only saw him about a year or so ago. He was on Raw. He had a couple of matches on Raw, I think, or SmackDown. That's what I was watching. And they had him on about 3 weeks in a row. Didn't do anything with him. I didn't see much to do it with anyway, unless he's got a personality. And they didn't let him show if he had any personality or not. But he was let go. And I think what it was, just the stars just aligned up. And this thing about Ronda Rousey saying that. Why did she even say that?
I think she was promoting her book, and her book has a lot on WWE, and it's just one sort of giant list of grievances with the company. So, and then I think someone made mention of it and just said, obviously it's inappropriate to do that, with Ronda's version of things.
See, I hate that. Somebody who goes to work for the company, and she was a big MMA star, that she got knocked flat of her butt 2 times, I think, right in a row. Mm-hmm. And she got knocked out. That Holly Holm, she straightened that left on her, and she was gone. See, one thing, I don't know a damn thing about MMA, but I knew that Ronda was good on the mat. When she got somebody on the mat, that's what she worked for. And I don't know who scouted her, but say Holly Holm. Is that her name, Holly Holm?
Yeah, she was the one who kicked her in Australia, and then Amanda Nunes punched her into submission.
And their coach or their trainer told them, don't let her get you on the mat. That's where she's the strongest. And that's why they went long range with those punches, and she couldn't defend herself. She looked like a starter because she got knocked silly, and she was supposed to be the savior of MMA. women's MMA. She was supposed to be, I think, Dana, what's his name? Dana White. Mm-hmm. He wanted to put her on this contract and do all this, but
she was the savior of MMA, women's MMA. I mean, Dana White didn't want women's MMA at all, and the fact that
didn't want it?
Dana White, UFC didn't want women's MMA, and he sort of had to. Yeah. And if that had been a crappy first bout with Ronda, and I can't remember who she faced, but it wasn't. It was a great match, and it proved to be a big draw. And then Ronda Rousey was always one of UFC's biggest stars when she was there, pretty much. But anyway, ignoring that, but ignoring with Ronda, it's with Drew. I'm going to give you one more thing with Drew, and you hear this. Cody Rhodes on Drew Gulak some 7 years ago. So this is, I think, after he left WWE the first time, and he was independent. Says, there is a wrestler by the name of Drew Gulak, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you I think he sucks. He does a grizzled old vet routine. He hasn't done anything or made any money anywhere, and he shouldn't be doing that routine. He looked at me from his table, this is another story, I don't know where it is, and frustrated and jealous because there were people in my line at my table. Hell, they might have been in line just for the pizza. Says to me, so that's what you need to get over. And he walks away in a total huff and a temper tantrum. Since then, that guy's on my list 100%. I will regularly text Ethan Pace just to tell him how much I think Drew Gulak sucks. So when now the absolute tippy-top drawer in WWE, apart from maybe The Rock or whoever it might be, says that you suck and he hates you, I mean, that can't be good for your career in WWE. So, I mean, you must have seen the writing on the wall there.
Well, I wasn't there, so... But I would go as far as to say that Cody doesn't much like Mr. Drew Gulak at all. And I like I said, I don't know anybody that knows him, but the thing that he was, from what I hear, that he was taking shots at people at NXT and hurting them, it doesn't speak highly of him. So. But I think he should have seen the writing on the wall. I don't know why his name just all of a sudden came out of nowhere with the Ronda Rousey story. But that got it had legs. It ran for a while.
Yeah.
And then the next thing you know, that he had been released from his contract. They said released, but like you say, that means they just decided not to re-up him. Is not released. You get released when, they end you early. And so, but I don't know what to think about him. I really don't. So